Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of the Articulate Fly. We're back with another East Tennessee fishing report with Ellis Ward. Ellis, how are you?
I'm doing well, Marv. How are you?
As always, just trying to stay out of trouble. And I think before we get to the fishing, we should extol the virtues of vehicular maintenance.
Yes, I am sitting in my vehicle, waiting on tires to be put on, and looking through a cracked windshield. So, I mean, I have 118,000 miles on this car. I drive a Subaru and treat it like a pickup truck, and have done really wild things. My both drift boat and jet boat are aluminum, so I get pretty sporty with the definition of boat ramps and put-ins. And like the muskies aren't going to catch themselves, and some of these rivers don't have great put-ins, so you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, and so
yeah,
exactly.
The spot costs can be high.
Yeah, so to basically clue people in, give them the year on your Subaru so they know how many miles you've been racking up.
2020.
There you go. And we know that 6,000-mile oil changes are aspirational, correct?
Aspirational.
Yeah.
That's a great way. Ideal. We don't live in the ideal. We work towards progress, and we don't expect perfection.
Yes, you're a pragmatic realist.
That's right.
Yeah. So on the waterfront, you were telling me that the critters are just going nuts right now because it's actually kind of a little bit unseasonably warm in the southeast.
Yeah. It makes things a little more comfortable for us, honestly. I had some folks last week that were here 2 or 3 weeks prior, and they had both come with layers because the last time they were here, it got chilly, and one of them was taking a jacket off after about an hour because they were anticipating it being cold. It's been staying in the 60s at night. We had it got chilly for a couple nights, but it's been staying warm at night. Honestly, you're on a tailwater with very cold water, and it is getting down to in the 60s. So it's wearing jackets and jeans regardless. But the mousing activity has been really good in the last few weeks. Whether or not it's a little free tip for anyone curious and listening, and with the availability to drive by fields and have the farmer schedule, you get variations from a harvest, right? If you have a river near cornfield or just a big field of grass, when they chop it down and bale it up, everything in there has nowhere to go. And everything that's prey needs to find its shelter. And so until it gets really, really cold, which here is also, there's some asterisks around there because it doesn't get or stay that cold. And until that does happen, though, there's you have the implications of those things. You have the implications of water clarity and flows, and whether or not the moon is bright, and then it's just everything lines up, and you go out and you're fishing, and you are beholden to bite windows. It's at the end of the day, you can have all this movement, you can have everything's lined up perfectly, and mousing really is. I compare it to musky fishing often, and I think one of the reasons is because you just have to go out and do it, and you really can't have too many expectations. And then when it happens, it would benefit everyone for you to hold it together, and instead of ripping your rod out of the water, let them eat for a second and then strip set firmly. Um, but like, is it seasonal? Is this the hot time? Yeah. We got bugs going out of the system. Everything's hatched. There's some fall activity. I've had some really buggy nights recently, or some buggy evenings recently. But mousing's been very active, and honestly, I'm starting to go out on just 2 days ago. We're almost towards a full moon, and um, we were getting chewed apart up until almost the moon apex. I mean, that thing was, we could have been catching a suntan, and we're still getting eats from good fish. So it's been a good fall so far.
Very cool. And got a question for you from Adam Talley. He's a new drift boat owner, and he wants to be part of the solution and not part of the problem, and wanted to kind of get your thoughts on kind of the do's and don'ts. And I think he actually thinks the don'ts are probably more important than the do's, for, how to be responsible when you're on the stick so that you don't inadvertently piss people off and ruin their day on the water.
Yeah. I operate, I think, under two major schools of thought. One of which is I care very little about what other people do. As it relates to fishing, if we're over a pod of risers and they're being pretty active, I've seen a kayaker just come by and waving, smiling, totally clueless, just putting his paddle into fishing spaces, and you just wait by it in the back. And so if I weren't me, right, if I were someone else, maybe if I were many other boats that are on the rivers regularly, that would be a big problem. And so oftentimes when you're coming around a bend or coming up on a pool and you see someone anchored up, you can tell very clearly where they're fishing. And I mean, we got metaphors from fishing and rowing for life all over the place. Communicate. Like you don't have to be cool. You don't have to be, this is the right thing to do and I know it. And this is what everyone does. I have to do it this way. If you're rolling up on someone and you feel a little uncomfortable with what's going on, yell, "Hey buddy, I'm about to come behind you. Is that cool? Or which way do you want me to go?" If you're pushing past, you mind if I push past you? I don't want to be leapfrogging you. Or I don't want to play leapfrog. You go past someone and then you anchor up and they go past by you and they anchor up. So a lot of the times I prefer to fish both personally and with clients in our own space and solitude. So we're not sharing flats with people. We're not sharing holes with people. Really with my start times, we don't see many other boats. And so when I do encounter that, or there is one instance of leapfrog, I'm going to say something and I'm going to be very clear with the other guide that I'm the one who is I'm giving you space. I'm going to push forward. Does that work? I'm going to give you this flat. We're just going to keep moving forward. Does that work for you? And it's 50-50. A lot of times you're just like, "Oh, dude, we're about to pull out." Or I was actually going to do that for you. We're taking out down here at 2. What time are you taking out? Everyone wants the same thing. So no one wants to have, no one wants to be crowded. No one wants to get spots blown or whatever. And ultimately just, the more in front of, communication and like, that's really the etiquette there, I would say. You are going to be in situations where it isn't necessarily possible to have that type of communication. So, for example, someone is anchored pretty close to the bottom of a rapid, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for you to be going down that rapid, going down a chute, since they're there. Sure, that might be rude. I mean, look, are we all in a hurry? Wait, wait 10 or 15 minutes. That's pretty egregious. They should know that someone's up there and they shouldn't be anchored there. But like that's a good don't. Don't go down a chute and anchor and just hit that first zone. Um, Certainly without looking behind you, but also definitely don't do that without pulling off to the side and really making sure that someone can go through where you are. And then if you are anchored up in a situation like that, just expect that you're going to get, you're going to get run through. Um, the other one's going to be boat ramps, which I dislike as a rule because I I I like to take my time in fishing. Um, so boat ramps are like you once you're on the ramp, it's go time, and you're gonna have people coming up. I honestly I prefer a lot of the times when if I'm there about to put in and someone's approaching, I know they've been on the water for 8 hours, and sure I'm excited to get on the water or whatever. I ask them, do you want me to pull up so you can take out? Again, it's 50-50. Maybe more often the case, people say, oh, dude, don't worry about it. Just, put in personal preference just to not be rushed in that front. But yeah, it's really just communication and, certain degree of acknowledgement that none of us, as much as we all do it, and how frequently we do it, there's not like rules that you need to follow outside of being considerate and asking. If you're unsure at all, you just ask.
Yeah, and I would say on the boat ramp thing too, if the ramp is busy, get your boat ready before you drop it to your point. Because, I mean, you need to kind of drop your boat, get it out of the way, and move your trailer so other people can do the exact same thing.
Yeah, it really is. Get down to the bottom of the ramp, slide the boat off, pull up, have your client hold it, have your buddy hold the boat, and then you're gone. So getting all your stuff together and boat prepped up and taking your time and shooting the breeze, as they might say, that all happens in the parking lot.
Well, there you go. Well, folks, we love questions on the articulate fly. You can email me or DM me on social media, whatever's easiest for you. And if we use your question, I'll send you some articulate fly swag. And when you're in a drawing for some cool stuff from Ellis at the end of the season, and Ellis, you got a lot of stuff going on, right? Gun season is coming in across the Southeast. Means bucktails. You got dates. We're talking musky, all kinds of good stuff. You want to let folks know kind of where to find you to get on the boat, talk about fly tying, buy bucktails, and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, I forgot that I had so much work to do. EllisWardFlies.com is going to be the place where you can get bucktail. From me directly, I will have bucktail in stores at a couple shops, and we'll wait to give the green light on announcing where those are specifically. I think at this point I have enough of a reputation for my customers and all of the word of mouth business for the bucktail. For people understand what they get, and to the extent that that isn't the case, which is still, it's really important to go put your hands on materials. I think having a few shops around the East Coast will be pretty cool. Again, that's elliswardflies.com. And you can also find information there and my cell phone number there, which is 513-543-0019. Use the website, use calling me, texting me, any questions you might have about trips, and mousing and musky definitely right now. And then I've got a couple weekend dates booked up in January. This is the time of year to start thinking about getting those January, February dates booked. That's two-handing 7-inch crapper changers and having a pretty darn good chance of watching something over 2 feet try to blow it through the surface of the water time. I think that's all for now.
Yeah, well, there you go. Well, folks, as I always say, you owe it to yourself to get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Ellis.
Appreciate it, Mark.